Best of r/entitled parents episode 137. Subscribe for edit videos daily. So I was around 11-12 on vacation. There were bumper cars. So me and my 5-year-old cousin decided to go on. There was one other kid. He looked about 8 or 9. He was bumping into us, and vice versa. He was smiling and having a good time, and after it was over, he asked to go again with us. Then the kid asked his mom if she wanted to go on one of the cars. It was 1 seat per car, so the mom goes on the different one. Then she hopped on. It was me, my 5-year-old cousin, the 8-9-year-old boy, and EM on. EM is bumping me and my cousin, and we're bumping her and her kid. The kids are having fun. Then when we get off, EM starts yelling how rude it was for us to bump her and her kid on the bumper cars. She said we couldn't bump her because she was our elders, and both of us can't bump the boy because he was young. My cousin looked visibly a couple years younger than the kid. The kid was telling her mom to stop, and that it was fun. Then she throws curses at me and my 5-year-old cousin. I'm sitting there silently. Cousin is on verge of tears. Then the worker there who looked like he was in college and the EM's kid explains to the EM it's part of the fun, and it's called the bumper cars. And can you guess what she said? Do you have a manager I can talk to? My uncle then walked us away, as the EM told us to F off and the kid was telling the mom to stop. Thank you. Next. Sorry if things are a little choppy, this happened when I was 11. I'm 17 now and the only other person there was my mom. She filled me in on the parts I had forgotten. Characters. Me. It's me. Mom. My mom. Not entitled. NF. Nice flight attendant. NC. Nice son. Mid-30s. NCW. Nice son's wife. Also mid-30s. EP. Entitled parent. Late 60s early 70s. So this all happened when I was coming back from Miami with my mom on an airplane. We were flying back to San Francisco after a wonderful vacation to Disney World. My mom had planned the trip a little late so we were not sitting together on the flight, but she was across the aisle and 2 rows back from me so I could see her. Now to set the scene, I was sitting in the aisle because I like to stretch my leg out every once in a while. And this old woman who looked as pale as a ghost, and she looked honestly like a female version of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. She was sitting in the window seat and her son and his wife were sitting in front of us. So anyone who has flown from Miami to SF will know it's around 5-6 hours long. As soon as we take off, this woman takes off her shoes and puts her back to the wall and puts her legs on the middle seat. No one was there. Now this really disgusted me because her feet reeked, and to top it all off she had put her feet against my leg so the bottom of her feet were pressed against my thigh. I was silently freaking out because being an 11-year-old I had absolutely zero idea what to do. I didn't want to ask her to move because I thought that would be rude. My mom always told me to be nice to people and not point out things that grossed me out. So internally I was screaming. About 20 minutes into the flight attendant started coming around asking what drinks people wanted and if they wanted one of those little portable TVs they have on planes. When she asks what drink I would like, I look at her and just pointed at the lady's feet. The following conversation ensues. NF. Ma'am, please put your feet down, that is now appropriate behavior. EP. Oh, I'm sorry, I just need to keep them elevated until my Advil kicks in. You see, my back hurts sometimes when I fly and I just need to stop the pain. NF. Ma'am, if this was going to be an issue you should have taken them earlier or have gotten your own row. Now please take your feet off of this child. EP. I can't, the pain is unbearable. Mom, from the other row, stands up and walks over. What's the problem over here? She then noticed the lady's feet. Excuse me, please get your feet off of my child. At this point I just had frozen and not said anything because I don't like confrontation. EP. If he had a problem with it then he should have said something. It's not my fault that I have so much back pain. Honestly, probably is her fault because she was super heavy. Not that there is anything wrong with that. Her son finally chimes in from in front of us because our conversation had woken him up. NS. Mom, just get your feet off of him. This is why we don't like flying with you. You always make a scene. EP. But my back hurts. NS. You took 4 Advils and I know for a fact that your back doesn't hurt that badly. You did this on the flight here and once you got on the plane you magically have back pain. EP. But. NS. Mom, just stop. NS. To me. "Hey bud, do you want me to switch seats with you? I would be more than willing to give you my aisle seat." I said okay and we traded seats. My mom thanked the nice son and that was the end of it. The flight attendant gave me an extra stroop waffle because I went through that. I thank her for that because now I love stroop waffles. Once we got off of the plane and we went to get our luggage from the carousel, my mom and I saw EP, NS, and NSW arguing about something, and I swear I heard NS say something about how this was the last trip they were taking with EP. I do feel bad if she was truly in pain, but if she knew it was going to happen then she should have done something beforehand. Thanks for reading. And I encourage you to post your entitled parent encounters, especially during this time of social distancing. TLDR. Old lady puts her feet on 11-year-old me on an airplane and gets yelled at by her son, a flight attendant, and my mom. Thank you. Next. This is the first time I have posted on this sub, so pardon me if I format wrong. Also, it is kind of far-fetched, but I assure you it is 100% real. So cast. M equals entitled mom aka Karen, Ek equals entitled kid, ND equals nice dad, and me equals me, of course. So on to the story. About 2 years ago in October, I was at some stupid family reunion with 60 plus people I had never met. I was bored, so I started playing Clash of Clans on my brand new iPhone XR. I had worked hard to get that phone all summer. I played for a few minutes and saw Ek, about 10 I think, a few feet across from me, looking bored out of his mind, staring intently at me. Me feeling bad, because I was feeling the same way, beckons for him to come over when Ek comes in. He watches me for a while, which I don't mind. Then after about 30 minutes he asked me my account name. Ek pulls up the app on his phone. "Can you tell me your account name? You have lots of stuff." Me, "Sure. It's username, you can friend me and join my clan if you want." Ek writes it down on his phone. Ek, "Okay, what's your supercell password?" Me, "Number. I'm not telling you. This is my account. Understand I have spent $50+ on this game and many hours on it as well, so you can understand why I did not want to share it with him." Ek, face turns red, gets mad and storms off. After a few minutes I think I am in the clear when out of nowhere here comes M. "What have you done to my child?" Me, "He wanted my game password and I told him he couldn't have it." Trying to reason with Karen, but I would gladly help him make an account on his phone. M, brushing off the last line. "Then what is it?" Me, "I told you I will not give it away. It is my account and I have spent money on it." M, "How dare you? You have no respect for the elderly." After further arguing she realizes that she cannot get my password. She asks how much it was worth. M, "Well, how much did you spend on it?" Me, thinking it is starting to end because she is starting to calm down. $50 or so. M, "What? I am not spending that much on a Goda game. I demand you give the money to me this instant." Me, getting angry because I do not want to give this woman $50. "No mom, I am not going to any money so that your little angel can have a good account." EM, so mad and taken aback she rushes forward, grabs my phone and throws it at the ground, then continues to stomp on it multiple times, and lets out an unhuman scream. I was so shocked about what just happened I realize it is quiet. I look around to see 60 plus people staring at us. Was very embarrassed. After kicking the phone one more time she grabbed Ek by the arm and stormed off. Soon after many people were reassuring me when ND came over he told me that was his wife and that he would pay for everything. A few weeks later a package arrived in the mail. Sure enough it was an iPhone. It was an even better phone. It was an iPhone XS Max. And I am still friends with ND to this very day. What did I take away from this? I have no idea why someone so nice would marry a BTCH like that. I now have a better phone and killer story. I will never be like Karen in my life. Because trust me, all jokes aside, Karen suck. TLDR, Karen breaks my phone because I would not give her $50 and my game password and makes a scene in front of my family. Update. After writing this I am now aware that ND has divorced M, meaning I will never have to see her again. YAY. Thank you. Next. Backstory. So this was a while ago. I was probably 11-12 at the time, and for my birthday, my mom took me to the Lego store. Since I had a really big thing for Legos back then, I'll try to recall the story to the best of my ability. Characters. Me. M mom. EM entitled mom. EK entitled kid. Tetsu the employee that saves us. We walk into the store, and I was amazed with all the displays. But one of my favorite things, and there was the pick a brick section. All of the Legos you could ever want. My mom got a large cup, and I filled it up with every brick I wanted. We pay, we walk out, and we start to walk towards our car. In steps the EM and EK. The mom looked like she was in her mid-40s and the kid looked about 8. EM, whoa. EK, look at all those Lego bricks. EK, mom, I want one of those. EM, I don't think I have the money for one of those today, unless you could give us it. M, sorry, it's his birthday today and this trip really meant a lot to him. EM, come on, not even a few bricks. M, I'm sorry, but no. EM, while slowly approaching us. I love my son as much as you do. Give it to us now. If you really love your son you will get him another. M, excuse me? EK, mom, get it for me now. At this point I didn't know what to do. I was just kind of standing there witnessing it, so I spoke up. Me, mom, if you could please leave us alone. I'm trying to enjoy my birthday. Then the EM tries to grab the Lego cup out of my hands. EM, whilst tugging on the cup, give it to us. Me, no. Get away. The cup of Legos falls on the parking lot, and the lid falls off, spilling them everywhere. So while my mom and the EM are arguing, I notice the EK diving for the bricks like a pinator and trying to pocket them. I quickly go to stop him, and he starts hitting me. At this point I was on the verge of tears, but thankfully an employee that was looking out the window noticed something was wrong. Tetsu, what is going on? EM, trying to lie. She and her son stole our Lego bricks. The employee knew this was BS, because he literally saw us in the store a few minutes ago, so he told her to buzz off and go home before he called the police. EM yanks EK up off the ground with pure anger, and he starts to bawl his eyes out. The employee apologized and asked if we wanted anything to make up for that. I said yes, and not only did I come home with a Lego City set, but also a cup full of Lego bricks. Some of the bricks were slightly damaged from the encounter, but I was still satisfied. I still do feel a little bad for the EK, but at the same time he attempted to take something that my mom paid for, and he hit me several times, one of which left a bruise. Thank you. Next. So a little backstory. I'm doing a server on Minecraft and my cousins came to my house like 3 weeks ago when we could still leave our houses. We enjoy Minecraft, so we started talking about the new snapshot. When I mentioned I was hosting a server, my little cousin, EC, seemed very interested. He started asking questions about how long it had been up and if he play on it and help me build. Now he was your average young kid. He didn't really do stuff and just liked to put lava over everything and explode stuff, so to make him go away I told him it was already finished. It's not. This is the part where everything starts to go downhill. Entitled cousin, EC. Cool cousin 1. C1. Cool cousin 2. C2. Mum of lil shitbag. EA. My mom. MM. Mum of cool cousins. CA. Me. ME. On with the story. EC wanted to build on my server and begged me to let him play and started screaming for EA. Now, no one really liked my aunt, but she lives right across from us, so whenever a car pulls over to our house she thinks she got invited too. EA comes to my room and asked EC what happened. EC, sobbing they won't let me play on their server. Now I don't think EA has any idea of how servers work, and I guess when EC said server she thought of a room full of big boxes. EA, what server? I don't see any big NASA supercomputer. All there is this shitty box, referring to my computer. ME, you're right. I was just telling EC how I was planning to have a serve. EC in the most demonic voice. No, he wasn't. He said he has a server. Even C1 and C2 heard. C1 C2 knew EC, so they were saying that I didn't have a server. EA, well, my little angel never lies, but his server is probably just shit since he doesn't have a big box. Just let him play. He'll probably get bored that it's horrible as fuck. EA, just leave them alone or I'll have to kick you out of my house. EA, fine. Just tell ME to give his computer to EC so he can play on it. ME, already pissed off at her BS. No, get the F out of my room. Now my mom tries to be as nice as she can to her sisters, so she pulled on my ear to her room to tell me some stuff that I didn't really care about and how I had to show with EC. ME. Alright, EC can play. EC. YAY, start the server now. ME. Quickly changing the world. Alright buckaroo. C1 and 2. Whisper, what are you doing? ME. Calmly, it's okay. After all, here's my cousin Winks. EC. Hey, where's all your stuff? I thought you said it was finished. ME. It is. This is the server. You can play on it and make your own house. EC. Well, where's your house? ME. Oh, I haven't made one since I've just made it and haven't invited anyone. EC. Kills himself by jumping off a cliff. Mom. Yay. I thought I told you, ME, to let EC play. EC. No mom. He keeps killing me and isn't letting me do anything. C2. No he key. EA. Respect. Your elders. C2. ME, stop killing my son and just let him play. If ME doesn't let you, just play on his computer. ME. Alright then, I can play on his laptop. EA. Don't touch our stuff. We are the guests and you're supposed to treat us with respect. We might as well leave. ME. Thank God finally. CA. Visible tired of EA's BS. Please pack your stuff. C1 and 2. I don't feel so good. C1 and 2 start packing up their laptops and give me the I'm sorry I left you with him look. EA. Alright EC, pack your stuff, we're leaving. ME. Goes to the restroom. When I come back, they're gone and so is my PC. I go look on the kitchen and they're not there. I look outside and what do you know? EC is carrying my PC and EA is carrying my monitor. Now desktops are not easy to carry, so it looks like EC is struggling and he's also carrying his laptop without a bag, so I rush outside so they doesn't drop my stuff. ME. WTF, give me my stuff back. EC with the most brilliant idea. Oops, drops my PC on purpose. ME. Quickly goes to grab the monitor so EA doesn't do the same. What the actual fuck? EC. Tries to stomp my PC. This is for not letting me play, even though I did. ME. Right back at your buckaroo. Spartan kicks him. EA. Goes crazy and starts bitching about how she is going to sue me. Now my mom's side of the family is kind of sorts, so by at age 12 I was already taller than EA. I just walk towards EA and she starts backing away and telling EC to leave. My PC suffered some major scratches but still worked, although it has to be laid horizontally because it can't stand up by itself. My mom was madder at me because I'm not allowed to cuss in front of family members, but understands that she brought it on herself. She didn't see me kick EC. I think EA will sue, but I'll give an update if she does. Edit. Typos. Thank you. Next. The entitled parent in this story is my own mother. I've been kinda hesitant to post about her, but if I'm kinda tired of how she's treated me. This story is how I thought I was getting $5,000. I was stupid and naive and wasn't really taught how loans work, and my mom asked me for $2,000 of it. So, I was going to college, commuting, so I was driving back and forth, and working. I pulled out a loan to help pay for it and mistakenly thought I was getting $5,000. Please roast me for my naivety. I mistakenly told my mom and she asked me if she could have $2,000 of it. I was happy to. At first, she didn't have a vehicle. She's gotten into wrecks in the past, and genuinely felt bad for her. We didn't have a vehicle all throughout high school, and for the most part, apart for that year, my dad didn't have a job and stopped paying child support. We could have gotten one had we saved up all that time. But my mom is really bad with money. I love my mom and wanted to help out. I thought I would be selfish if I didn't. So, I told my boss, really proud of myself for being so unselfish. And she basically told me I was an idiot. She told me that I needed to keep that money for myself and buy myself a vehicle or put it towards college. I thought about it and kinda realized she was right. My mom, although I do love her, would give my brother her money and then ask me to cover it. They would buy a bunch of weed and then ask me for money to pay bills. I didn't mind, at first, because I thought it was better to be unselfish. Finally, I got fed up with it and her, so I told her I was keeping the money. For the next month she proceeded to harass me about how much she needed the money, threatened to kick me out, tell me to go live with my father, and guilt trip me constantly. She even got my brother in on it and he would verbally assault me with cuss words, insults, and even telling me I was a selfish bitch. It all came to a stop when one night, after my brother started screaming bitch through my door and I tried to kill myself. I walked out, moved past him, and started walking toward the bridge near my house. I couldn't bring myself to do it and I called the suicide hotline. They talked me down. I still live with my mom and I'm trying to get out because it's hard to live with her sometimes. Any advice? And I'm sorry for the depressing post. Thank you. Next. This isn't my story, but my aunt and uncle's. Around the summertime of 2019, my aunt, uncle and 2 cousins decided to take a family trip to Disneyland, the one in California. My cousins were between the ages 3-6, so they couldn't go on all of the rides due to their height. Anyways, they were walking around, having an amazing time, going on all the rides they could, playing many games, the usual things you do at a theme park. Now this is where our story begins. My aunt had decided to use the washroom. It was right after lunch, so she needed to clean up. Now, she had a little zipper bag with lots of pockets containing the usual necessities, cash, her phone, water bottles, etc. She had hung up her zipper backpack on the hooks on the stall's door while she was in there, and when she left the stall she went to the sink to wash her hands. Enter entitled mother. She came into the restroom and proceeded to go into the same stall my aunt had just been in. While she was in there, my aunt had realized that she left her bag in the stall, but since the lady was already in there, she just figured that she would get it when the EM was done. So she waited, and once the EM was done, she opened the stall door, took one look at my aunt, made that face you make when you know you did something wrong, and shut the stall door. My aunt thought that was really weird, so she waited a bit longer. Finally the EM came flying out of the stall, and made a quick exit. I'm not even sure if she washed her hands. My aunt had the gut feeling you get when you know something's wrong. First thing she did was check her bag, and almost all the cash was gone. Surprisingly, her phone was still there, which the EM didn't grab. My aunt put 2 and 2 together and ran out after the EM. The conversation goes as followed, entitled Mom, EM my aunt, A my uncle, hey, excuse me, did you happen to see a bag in your stall? EM, what are you talking about? Hey, well, you went into the same stall after me and I noticed all my cash was gone from my bag. EM, cuts her off. I don't know what you're talking about, but how dare you accuse me of stealing? This is my money for my kids. I can't believe you. Hey, shocked at this point, that is actually my money, it's for my kids to enjoy our day, can you please give it back? At this point my uncle and cousins come over, the EM starts ranting about how this is so rude of her and she should feel ashamed. It was her kids' very special vacation and they shouldn't be in this situation. What's happening? EM, this lady says that I stole her money, when she clearly wants to take my money from me. Really doesn't care about anything she's saying. Look, if you stole from my wife, we will call security. EM, what? How dare you? She starts rambling again. My uncle cuts her off. Whatever. We have more fun things to do. Come on, let's go. Since my aunt couldn't prove the money was actually hers, they unfortunately couldn't do anything about it. EM only got between $150 and $300. I don't know the exact amount. I'm actually just surprised that EM didn't take her phone. I know this isn't very exciting, but it's the first thing that came to mind. I kept this clean for younger readers.